Hey guys, against my better judgment, I want to talk about something that I told myself I wouldn't, but I must. It's too much injustice. It's happening to someone I know, and he's been getting levels of hate that only the biggest DBD streamers get, like Oddstarva and Aaron. You know, when Aaron says that someone got lucky while playing Hillbilly, and he gets 50 hate threads about him because he said that the survivor was lucky once. Or Oddstarva says a perk is too strong, and then he has the whole entirety of the DBD community hating on him. Asuno has recently been accused of viewbotting. If you don't know what viewbotting is, it's pretty simple. You can tell by the name. It's just hopping on a website and paying for fake viewers on your stream. This is something that happens a lot, and a lot of the times it's very obvious, and he's being accused of that by a lot of people that I actually respect, which is why this video was so hard for me to make, because Asuno was my friend. I've been coaching him through his YouTube journey since the very start of his channel, so of course I'm biased here, but at the same time, the people accusing him of viewbotting are people that I know as well. And I want to start the video out by saying that the viewbot allegations are understandable. I see where they're coming from. Asuno came out of fucking nowhere. This guy was averaging 60 viewers, being a Vecna one trick. A very niche part of the community was interested in his content. And then randomly when Kaneki releases, you see him getting more viewers than Tofu, being right behind Hens on the Dead by Daylight tab. Of course it looks weird. And to hold that amount of viewership for so long when you're seemingly a random person in the Dead by Daylight community is very sus. And everything that I'll argue here has to be listened to very closely, and you have to have an open mind and allow me to guide you through the information, because I'm in a very unique and privileged position when it comes to this topic in specific. I have the behind the scenes knowledge of the stuff going on with the creator. I'm a content creator myself, so I understand the landscape. And honestly, this is just a very interesting situation that I really want to talk about. When the Kaneki PTB came out, Asuno was the first one to start blasting out Kaneki content. I'm pretty sure he played the PTB more than anyone else. This guy was streaming like 12 hours a day, recording Kaneki content, so he would have enough content to get him through the wait until Kaneki was released to the live servers, because he grinded more than literally anyone else, and you really can't take that away from him. No matter how much you dislike the guy, he grinded more than anyone else, and he was consistently posting about the character even when you could no longer play him, even when you had to wait until Kaneki was released. Asuno already had an audience. People already knew about him because of his Vecna content. So yes, while there might have been other YouTubers making Kaneki content, Asuno had a natural advantage because he was very passionate about it. He was posting consistently about it, and he was getting a lot more views than those other creators. So he naturally became the Kaneki guy instead of the Vecna guy. And when Kaneki released, everyone that I know saw a huge viewership increase. My stream went from my normal, humble 100 average viewers to all the way up to 500 on Kaneki release. And that happened for many reasons. Kaneki has a higher pick rate than Wesker ever did. This chapter is probably one of the most popular chapters that has ever been released in DBD. And this character in particular is seemingly very mechanic heavy. It's a grapple character. Everything looks so fleshy. So a lot of people were really interested in watching the best player play. When Marvel Rivals came out, everyone wanted to watch the best Spider-Man player because Spider-Man is such a fleshy character, right? Like you play the character once and then you're like, bro, this is so overwhelming. I wonder how the best player plays. Necros, which is probably the biggest Marvel Rivals streamer, was averaging like 50,000 viewers or something because everyone wanted to watch the best Spider-Man player play. Of course, DBD doesn't have that kind of viewership in it. Kaneki is not nearly as complex as a character like Spider-Man is in Marvel Rivals. But the point that I'm trying to make is people were interested in seeing the best player play because of the nature of the character. And remember what I told you earlier, Asuno became the Kaneki guy. Now, it's extremely arguable if he was actually the best Kaneki player ever. I'm not sitting here trying to say that he is or that he isn't, but it's natural for casual players to like watch YouTube videos and see that someone is putting in a lot of effort into something and automatically assume that that's the best player of that character. There's not enough DBD knowledge going around for people to be able to judge whether that guy is the best one or not. People just want to turn their brains off and watch the best player play so that they can replicate what the best player is doing in their own games. Asuno saw a huge viewership increase that day. He went from his humble 60 viewers to even more than me. I think he was averaging like 700 viewers in his stream because he had already established himself as the Kaneki guy. He was multi-streaming, so people that saw his YouTube videos could also see that he was live. And a lot of people, when they see that someone is live on YouTube, they hop over to Twitch because that's objectively the better streaming platform. I'm sorry. There were also Twitch drops, which if you guys don't know what Twitch drops are, they're basically in-game loots that you get for watching Twitch streamers for a set amount of time. And this time around, I'm not sure if this was the first time, but there were blood points in there. So if you watch the streamer for long enough, you would get blood points in the game. I think it was 500,000. So that's a lot of blood points. Everyone had more viewers than usual. Everyone. And that lasted for a long time because Twitch drops were available for a long time. And a lot of people took a long time to get them because not everyone has enough time to sit there watching Twitch every single day. Like you. So far, a lot of good things contributed to Asuno's higher viewership. Now, this is where a bigger stroke of luck happened for him, and this is where the perfect storm really starts. He, coincidentally, had a front page stream scheduled. Now, this is more underground, so let me explain this to you. Twitch partners can apply for something called the front page stream, which is exactly what it sounds like. You will end up in the front page while you're streaming. That increases your viewership 50 times. People that average 5 viewers can go all the way up to 5,000 because of the front page stream. A lot of the people watching those streams are not even necessarily DBD players or into whatever the person's streaming. They just happen to find the stream in the front page. Twitch is a very popular website. A lot of people just open the website and leave it there. So a lot of those viewers are not necessarily engaged. They just happened upon the stream, and then one random person is like, yeah, this game looks fun. Let me click it. Let me check it out. Asuno got that on top of being very popular already because of all the other things that I listed. He also streamed twice that day. He streamed for, I think, 8 hours first, and then he did his whole 8-hour front page slots in the same exact day. And because he was averaging like 3,000 viewers and there's a constant influx of new viewers on the stream, his VOD ended up with 158,000 views. Keep that in mind, by the way. We'll get back to that. After that, because of how many followers he got, his base viewership was crazy. I even DM'd him and he showed this in his response video that he broke my fundamental understanding of content creation. I didn't think DBD had numbers like that to be gained in general. I thought there was a very low ceiling to how many viewers you can gain, but he did it. He broke that understanding of how many viewers you can get from a certain game due to a bunch of factors and a lot of luck. Created the perfect storm that caused them to see the biggest surge I think I've ever seen in a streamer ever. Now I want to get into the accusations, right? I want to get into how everything happened. Carol, or Look at My Feet, I don't know what they go by anymore. They have so many names. They're very popular on Twitter. They're also a streamer. I respect them a lot. When I was looking for a new artist for my channel, they made a whole pink hair Nia drawing for me, so I like them as well. So I'm biased for both sides because they're so popular on Twitter. When they tweeted about this, it got popular very fast. They own DBD Twitter. What can I say? And some of the main points here are, let's start out with a weird one, which is this screenshot that shows a bunch of people on his viewer list, which the viewer list is just how like the names of certain public viewers that the streamer has, that has a bunch of similar names. I really don't know what this is, but my main point against this is that if you're botting 1,000 viewers, 1,500 viewers, you wouldn't have 19 people with the same name. You would have a lot more than that. And I feel like the bots wouldn't have the same name. That's kind of dumb. You know, that's giving it away. With how artificial intelligence works today, I think it's a lot easier to just create random names than just keep repeating the same name and adding letters and numbers to it. Also, 19 people out of fucking 1,500 is crazy. These are probably random accounts that found their way to Asuno's stream because of the front page stream, which makes a lot of sense when you think about it. It's because even if those are actual Viewbot accounts, they might have been just sitting idle in Twitch's main page because they don't have a designated channel, and they ended up there because they're just in the front page, and Asuno just happens to be in the front page as well. Something that a lot of people don't understand as well is that it's not because you have 2,000 viewers that 2,000 people are watching you right now. A lot of people leave their computers, they tab out, they forget that the stream is even there. When huge streamers end their streams, like if Hans ends the streams, for example, he has like 3,000 viewers. When he ends the stream, he probably still has 700 viewers in his offline chat. He even rated me once in offline chat, and it was like a 700 viewer raid. When you're talking about numbers like that on Twitch, it's so hard to make sense of it. You can't understand what's going on with numbers like that. It's a lot more complex than me and you like even think. Twitch viewership is a very complicated thing to explain to anyone. It's a lot easier to understand what's going on when you're talking about 100 people, 200 people. When it gets to the thousands, there's so much variance to it. There's so much going on there that this is a non-argument for me. And some of you might be thinking that what I'm saying is just like super cope. Like, yeah, bro, for sure it's not bots. It's a nothing burger. But if I could just convey to you how complex it gets at the higher numbers of viewership, you can probably open someone else's stream that averages like 2 to 3K viewers and you would see some sussy baka weird shit in the viewer list as well. And honestly, someone might have even done that on purpose. Someone might actually have access to those accounts and just did that to take a screenshot to make it look weird. I wouldn't put it past hateful people to do that shit. Another one that I saw is from this person that says that they were watching the stream, and whenever Asuno switched from killer to survivor, the viewership didn't drop. And that's the smoking gun. You know, that's really hard to validate. I don't know how credible this source is, but even if that's the case, it ties back to what I was saying. It's not because you have 500 viewers that 500 people are actively watching your stream. A lot of those those viewers might have just, you know, forgotten about the stream. Or maybe, but there was this one stream that I was doing. I was streaming Elden Ring. Nobody watches my Elden Ring content. I was doing no face cam Elden Ring. And I got rated by Monster Kill, who had gotten rated by Hens. And he sent over like 200 viewers. None of the 200 viewers that I got rated from were actually watching my stream. Not one of them. I sat on 200 viewers my entire Elden Ring stream, and I had like 3 people chatting because I only had like 5 actual viewers, I think. The other people, I just don't know. I don't even know what happened to them. Maybe they tabbed out. Again, huge numbers. We're talking about bigger numbers here. When it comes to bigger numbers, the fluctuation is different. You don't drop from 1,900 viewers to 60 again. It just doesn't happen. Now, if you're averaging like 50 viewers and you're a killer player and then you switch to survivor and your viewership drops to like 20, that's a lot more realistic. That actually happens. People are also blown away by the amount of followers he's been getting. Again, people that I respect saying that he has a daily follower count of someone with 30K average viewers. But again, people that already average 30,000 viewers already conquered most of the followers that they could conquer. When a blow up like that happens, there's more people being exposed to the new guy, and that's why the follower counts are gonna go crazy, especially when you consider that he had a front page stream that pretty much exposed the stream to like the average like normie that doesn't even know about DBD. He's getting followers from people outside of the DBD bubble. So yeah, these numbers, if you just look at the numbers, they will look crazy. And I'm not saying that they're not crazy, but you have to take a step back and think, Asuno is not just a random person on the DBD community. Even if you in particular didn't know who Asuno was, he was already an established content creator in the community. Think of how dumb it would be for a person to just inject 1,500 viewers into their stream and keep those numbers up for a long time without getting called out for it. The absurdity of the situation already makes it super unlikely that they did that. And if they did, it would actually be the perfect crime. They waited until everything was playing to their favor to then inject some like crazy viewers into their account. Asuno would have to predict that all of these factors would come into play at the same time so that he would inject bots to have me fucking glazing the shit out of him in a 15-minute video saying that he didn't viewbot. People also underestimate just how fucking expensive the shit is. I don't understand a lot about viewbotting, okay? Like let me just clear myself here. But injecting this many viewers has to be expensive. Also, Asuno is a full-time content creator. He wouldn't run the risk of losing his whole Twitch account for viewbotted viewers. And finally, the one that I saw the most, the 158,000 viewer VOD. I don't know why people are under the impression that viewbotted streams get a lot of views in the VOD, but I'll just explain that there's a huge misconception as to views in the VODs. Twitch a long time ago changed the VOD views to not only show how many people watch the actual VODs, but also how many people even clicked on the stream to start with. So a stream that averages 2,000 viewers is going to have a lot of VOD views because it's not the same 2,000 viewers watching the stream. People are leaving and other people are hopping in. adding to the VOD count. I can't confirm this, but I even think that if someone leaves the stream and then opens it again, it counts as 2 views. If anything, this is a counter argument, because if he was viewbotting, there wouldn't be as many people coming in and out. It would be the same 2,000 bots, and the VOD would have a lot less views, which is actually probably exactly what happens to viewbotted streams. I don't know why people look at this and think that this is a huge like thing that just makes him seem like a huge botter. It comes from ignorance, like people not understanding how VOD views work. This is again a non-argument. Also, I'm gonna hate myself if I don't mention this. The longer your stream goes for, the more VOD views you're gonna have naturally. Even if you have the same exact amount of viewers, just because your stream lasted longer, it's gonna have more views because there's more time for people to leave the stream and other people join in. The last point, which I didn't get a satisfying answer to, is that all of his VODs are sub only, so you can only watch his VODs if you're subscribed. I asked Asuno why he did that, and he said it's because of the increased hate he's getting, which, I mean, again, this requires insider information, which I have, but I don't want to paint him as a victim. He is getting a lot of hate. He is getting an unfathomable amount of hate, to a point where I've never seen any streamer get, like, some disgusting shit. He said he's scared of people clipping things out of context to get more hate on him, which it's fair. Like, if you stream for a long time, you might say something that might make some people angry, and it's understandable why he would do that, but it's not a satisfying answer. But I also don't see how making your VODs sub only would add to the botting thing. I don't see the value in doing that at all. It would stop the VOD views from going up. So if people are really scared of that one, I mean, he's helping your arguments. Then the VODs are not going to have as many views. This was honestly a perfect storm. This is something that happened due to a bunch of different factors playing at the same time and resulting in one of the biggest surges in Twitch history. A lot of people are going to hate because they hate him. A lot of people are using this as just an excuse to put more hate on the person, and I hope I convinced you otherwise. This was really interesting for me because as a content creator, I understand these things, and this was an interesting, like, almost video essay that I made because I understand. I have all the info, I have all the moving pieces that I can put into the same video. And I want to finish it off by saying that I'm extremely disappointed in the dog pile that people made on him on Twitter. People that I actually respect, I thought highly of, were joining in on the bandwagon just to hate on the guy by circumstantial evidence and just things that you think are correct. This person that I recently followed on Twitter, straight up making up a lie. This guy just lied about it. He said that Asuno has been deleting VODs that had 200,000 views to make him look less guilty. And he did it. He proves that he did it. It's crazy. This has so much engagements because people want to hate him. You know what I mean? It's a lie. He is lying about it. The tweet is still up. People tend to forget that content creators are real human beings. If I was getting that type of hate, that type of, like, everyone that, like, I actually know, people that, like, I actually respect, saying those things about me when I did nothing wrong, it would really hurt me. It would make me feel terrible. And people were, like, just dogpiling on the guy like it didn't matter, like it was just some random person that was, like, just doing some horrible stuff. And I know I'm sitting here and asking for people to be empathetic on Twitter. I know that's not going to happen, but DBD, the Dead by Daylight community, is very tight knit. Like, there's not a lot of us. And I feel like immediately being reactionary to that type of stuff and just dropping this heinous amount of hatred on someone because of something that you think happened. You think happened. And it's also not something that, like, even if it was true, it's not like he killed someone. You know what I mean? Why is all of this happening? I don't know how Asuno behaves all the time. I don't think he's the nicest person ever and he deserves everyone's respect. But I don't think anyone deserves this amount of hatred. But that's just my opinion, I guess. Bye.